Madam Bisi is the woman who never went to parties for dancing or music, only for food. She would often laugh and say, "Life is short, enjoy it while it lasts." Until the day she ate a food that is meant for the spirits. In the busy city of Port Harcourt lived a woman named Madam Bisi. Everyone knew her because she loved food more than anything. She was kind and funny, but her greed for food was too much. People joked that even a whole cow couldn't satisfy her. At every wedding, birthday, or burial, Mama Bisi would sit close to the food table, waiting like a hunter. Her big stomach always came before her body. When people tried to warn her, she would laugh and say, "My stomach is my best friend." Her daughter Adeze worried a lot. "Mommy, please control yourself," she would beg. But Madam Bisi would reply, "Adeze, food is love. Don't ever reject love." Everyone liked her spirit, but many whispered that one day her love for food would land her in a big trouble. One sunny morning, Madam Bisi had exciting news. A rich man named Chief Okafor was hosting a big celebration for his new chieftaincy title. It was going to be the biggest party in the city. People said there would be enough food to feed a whole village. Madam Bisi's eyes shone with joy. "Today, I will eat until my soul dances," she said. She picked her best green lace, golden shoes, and a shiny head tie that looked like a crown. Her daughter Adeze tried to stop her. "Mommy, please don't embarrass me," she begged. Madam Bisi only laughed and said, "My dear, hunger doesn't know shame." She looked in the mirror, turned around, and smiled proudly. "This woman is ready for war," she said. That afternoon, she marched to the celebration, determined to conquer every pot of food she saw. The event was grand. Car lined in streets, drummers played loudly, and the smell of jollof rice filled the air. Everyone was dressed in colorful clothes, but none shone brighter than Mama Bisi's clothes. As she walked in, people whispered, "Madam Bisi don't come oh." The servers exchanged worried glances. They remembered her from other parties. "That woman can finish a pot of soup," one said softly. But Madam Bisi didn't care. Her eyes roamed across the tables, searching for the biggest plates. When she finally sat down, she spread her wrapper neatly and smiled like a queen. "Let the battle begin," she whispered. As music filled the hall, she started piling food: fried rice, pounded yam, egusi, pepper soup, and even goat meat. She was in her own world of joy, chewing and humming happily, unaware that something dangerous was waiting for her. At the far corner of the hall sat a small calabash covered with white cloth. It looked ordinary, but it wasn't. Inside, it was sacred food meant only for Chief Okafor. It was prepared by a native doctor to protect him from evil eyes. The calabash was not for anyone else to touch. But when Mama Bisi saw it, she thought it was special stew. The sweet smell caught her attention. "This one will sweet pass," she said, lifting the lid. A man nearby shouted, "Mama, no touch that one." But before he finished, she had already scooped it into her plate. The moment the food touched her tongue, she smiled. "Ah, this one na heaven food," she said. People around stared in shock. The servers ran to tell Chief Okafor what had happened, but it was already too late. That night, Madam Bisi came home happy and full. "Adeze, today I ate like a queen," she said, laughing. But as midnight came, she started feeling strange. Her stomach rumbled loudly and sweat poured down her face. She tried to sleep but couldn't. Then hunger hit her again, stronger than ever before. She rushed to the kitchen and ate rice, beans, and bread. But the hunger didn't stop. She cried, "Why am I still hungry?" Adeze woke up confused. "Mommy, you just ate hours ago." Madam Bisi ignored her and kept eating. The more she ate, the more her stomach growled. It was like something inside her wanted more. She clutched her belly, trembling. "What is happening to me?" she whispered. But deep inside, she feared faint voice saying, feed us more." By morning, the whole neighborhood knew something was wrong. Madam Bisi was eating non-stop. She cooked all her food, then started eating raw garri, uncooked yam, and even soap. Adeze cried helplessly, "Mommy, please stop." But Madam Bisi couldn't. Her belly grew larger and her eyes looked empty. Neighbors came to watch through the window. "This is not normal," one said. "Maybe she ate something forbidden," another whispered. "Spirits have entered her stomach." Madam Bisi screamed in pain. "They are eating me from inside," she shouted. The voices in her belly grew louder at night, echoing like drums. Everyone was afraid. Adeze begged the landlord for help. "Please, take my mommy somewhere before she dies." The landlord nodded sadly. "We will take her to the herbalist in the village tomorrow. Only strong medicine can fight this kind of spirit." Early the next morning, the landlord and some neighbors helped carry Mama Bisi into a van. She was weak but still chewing a piece of bread. "Mama, please stop," Adeze cried. "You will die if you keep eating." But Mama Bisi's voice sounded strange. "I am not the one eating. They are." The journey to the herbalist's place was long. Along the road, she kept shouting, "I need food. Stop the car." The driver refused. "We must reach the herbalist before sunset." Finally, they reached at the old man's hut. The herbalist, Baba Ikenna, came out with a staff in his hand. He looked at Mama Bisi, shook his head and said, "You have eaten what belonged to the spirit. Only strong fasting and confession can save you." Adese's eyes filled with tears. "Please, Baba, save my mother." Baba Ikenna lit a small fire and began to chant softly. The smoke filled the air, carrying strange scent. He circled Mama Bisi 3 times, then placed his hand on her stomach. "You have eaten what was meant for the ancestors," he said. "If you don't confess and fast, the spirit will consume your body completely." Mama Bisi began to cry. "I didn't know, Baba. I was only hungry." Baba Ikenna nodded slowly. "Hunger is not evil, but greed invites evil. You must go 7 days without food or water." Everyone gasped. 7 days? Adeze asked. "Yes," Baba said. "If she eats during the fasting, she would die." Mama Bisi trembled but agreed. "I will do anything to live." Baba Ikenna gave Adeze herbs to sprinkle around her mother's bed every night to keep the spirits away. The night was terrible. Mama Bisi lay on the floor, weak and shaky. Her stomach growled like thunder. She closed her eyes and prayed, "God, please forgive me. Please remove this hunger." Adeze sat beside her, holding her hand tightly. At midnight, Madam Bisi began to hear whispers again. "Feed us," the voices said. "Just one bite." She tried to ignore them, but the smell of food filled her nose. She couldn't swear she heard rice boiling, though no one was cooking. Suddenly, a shadow moved across the room. She sat up in fear. "Who is there?" she asked. No answer came. Then something cold brushed her cheek. She screamed and began to pray loudly. Adeze woke up and sprinkled the herbs quickly. The shadow disappeared. The room stayed cold until morning. By the third day, the hunger had grown stronger. Madam Bisi was tired and dizzy. She could barely speak. Adeze begged her, "Mommy, please hold on." But that night, Adeze slept off. Madam Bisi smelled roasted fish. It was so real that she stood up and followed the scent outside. Under a mango tree, she saw a clay pot filled with food. "Eat, Mama," a soft voice whispered. Her eyes filled with tears. "Just one bite," she said, reaching out. But before her hand touched the pot, she heard Baba Ikena's voice echoed in her mind. "If you eat, you will die." She froze, dropped to her knees and cried, "God, please help me." When she looked again, the pot of food had vanished into thin air. The night grew silent. That night, Madam Bisi had a strange dream. She found herself in a dark forest surrounded by shadows. They looked like hungry spirits with glowing eyes. "You must eat our food," they hissed. "Now you must feed us." She trembled. "I didn't mean to. Please forgive me." One spirit stepped forward and touched her stomach. "Give us your body and promise never to eat greedily again." Mama Bisi fell to her knees. "I promise I will never be greedy again." The spirit stared at her for a long time, then slowly disappeared into the darkness. When she woke up, she was sweating, but her stomach was quiet. Adeze rushed to her side. "Mommy, are you okay?" Mama Bisi smiled weakly. "I think the spirit heard me." The 7 days finally came to an end. Mama Bisi was weak but still alive. Baba Ikenna arrived to perform the final cleansing. He burnt some herbs and poured blessed water on her head. "The spirits have accepted your promise," he said. "From today, you are free, but you must never be greedy again." Mama Bisi nodded slowly, tears streaming down her face. "I have learnt my lesson." Adeze hugged her tightly, crying with joy. Baba Ikenna won. If you ever eat what is not meant for you again, the spirit will return. Mama Bisi promised to live a careful life. The neighbors who had feared her came to see the miracle. "It's true," they said. She survived. From that day, Madam Bisi became a humble woman. When they returned home, Madam Bisi cleaned her kitchen and gave away half of her food to the poor. People were surprised. "Madam Bisi, are you sure you are okay?" one neighbor asked. She smiled and said, "For the first time, I am truly full." Hadeze helped her cook for children on the street. Everyone was shocked to see the once greedy woman serving others with joy. She even warned young girls, "Don't let your stomach control your destiny." Oh. Her story spread across town. People began to call her Mama Mercy because she had helped everyone who was hungry. She became a living lesson of change and humility. Each morning, she thanked God for saving her life. "Food nearly killed me," oh, she often said, "but it also taught me the meaning of life." One day, Chief Okafor came to visit Mama Bisi. He had heard about her miracle. "I came to thank you," he said. "Because of you, I stopped using charms at my events." Madam Bisi smiled humbly. "Chief, it was my greed that caused all the trouble. I am sorry for touching your sacred food." Chief Okafor nodded. "Your story has changed many lives. I want to sponsor your feeding program for the poor. Madam Bisi was shocked. Me? Chief Okafor laughed. Yes, you. Who better to teach others about self-control than someone who survived it? Tears filled her eyes. She thanked him again and again. That day, she realized that her painful experience has turned into a blessing, not just for her, but for many others. Years passed, and Madam Bisi's story became a popular tale told in schools and villages. Children learned that greed could destroy destinies, but repentance could heal. Madam Bisi grew old, peacefully and respectfully. Every year, she hosted a feast for orphans, always serving food herself, but never eating until everyone has finished. When asked why, she would smile and say, I once ate what wasn't mine, and it almost ended me. Now, I feed others to stay alive. The people of the town admired her deeply. Her daughter Adeze often told others, my mother's story taught me that hunger is not the enemy, but greed is. And so, the legend of Madam Bisi lived on, reminding everyone that no matter how far one fails, there is always a chance to rise again. If you have watched to this extent and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Give this video a big thumbs up and also share to as many people as possible. Let me know your thoughts concerning this story in the comment section. And stay with us for more suspenseful things that will entertain, teach, and encourage you. Turn on your notification bell so that you would never miss the next story. See you in my next one. Bye for now. Love you.